Camps Bay, 1997. That was the time when I wrote a song called This Is Not the End, and it dealt with the tragic loss of Princess Diana. And just last week we watched the new episode of The Crown, which dealt with that very incident.
Radiating sunshine through the rain, even on the day you went away. Everybody wanted to give you flowers, better still to touch you, kiss your tears away. Got to know you through the magazines, in Versace, but best of all in jeans. In your eyes this summer there was passion, love was in the pages, it will last for ages. Photographs are scattered everywhere, falling with the leaves, winter in the air. Delicate and fragile, but very real, not afraid to live by how you feel. Now there's a flame in everybody's heart, burning in the wind. This is not the end. Photographs are scattered everywhere, falling with the leaves, winter in the air.
It was in my second year at Wits that one of my ex-teachers from high school approached me. He was a strange guy who lived near us during my high school years and had influenced my young life through his involvement in the cadet band, in which I was a drummer, and as a zealous sports coach. He organized a long-distance cycling trip to Durban for a bunch of us eager beavers. Maybe he meant well, but we didn't really trust him and couldn't help feeling wary, not knowing exactly why. At the time, I was commuting to Wits from Krugersdorp on my 160cc Honda. He said he had an idea of how I could make some extra pocket money to pay for petrol. Not really needing that kind of pin money anyway, I should have declined immediately. But, like the diligent head boy that I was, I went along. Conscientiousness can be a burden. It was on an early evening during the week that he collected me, and we drove to the local police station downtown, where I was introduced to some high-ranking officer, a general or something, ridiculously decorated with rows of ribbons and brass. I think we spoke in Afrikaans. He asked me what I thought about Wits and what my feelings were on communism. To be honest, I hadn't thought of it and answered vaguely. He suggested that I might join NUSAS, become involved in revolutionary activities at Wits, and then feed information about these things back to a person who would be made known to me later. The teacher and I left, With me feeling very uncomfortable and confused by all of this, I discussed it with no one, certainly not with the teacher, to whom I never spoke again about that meeting or anything related to it. Sometime later, I was contacted by a guy who suggested we meet in the Black Rose coffee shop in Melly Street, Braamfontein, near the university. He was very different to the general, being in plain clothes and rather sociable, quite suave actually. We just chatted, and he gently guided me in the direction of Nieuwshuis, the Wits Student Weekly Rag, and then ultimately the Students' Representative Council. They needed to identify the important people who were involved in so-called revolutionary activities at Wits. He surreptitiously alluded to possible pocket money enhancement. Big deal. But I am pleased to say that I never accepted a cent. We met on 2 more occasions until I finally told him that this was not for me, and I never saw him again. In fact, I did become involved with Wits Student Magazine, writing a few articles, and made contact with some of the free thinkers on campus, but that was more in connection with the university music scene, like the Free People's concerts organized by the South African Folk Music Association. After experiencing a particularly brutal baton charge made by the South African police against protesting students, with marksmen blatantly posted on the roof of the opposite building, I was shocked into the uncomfortable realization that we were living in a deeply troubled society which would surely change sooner than later, maybe violently. I didn't do much about or with this realization and make no claim to any political activity during my middle-of-the-road student days or thereafter. But I have occasionally wondered whether there might be a file somewhere labeled R. Adelbert and what it might contain. Brother. Brother in arms, Father of the nation, watch over all your children through the darkest night. Watch over us till the morning light. 3 mules return to the valley below. Leopard leaves them alone. 2 black eagles circle in the cobalt sky. Prisoner, set us free. You are who we might be. Watch over all the children at their daily bread, walking to where you might have led. You will return to the valley below. Never leave us alone. Your long walk to freedom will be done. The King. I can build myself a palace because I is the king. And I can have you, mama, 'cause you is one of my queens. I struggled up this mountain, and I'm here to stay. And no one can persuade me to go away. Don't need no education to be no chief. There's no legislation makes me a thief. So I can pick you up in my aeroplane. No immigration, customs. Just drop my name. Licorice baby. Licorice baby with a rubber mouth. We'll need a local anesthetic when your truth comes out. Mshini kill the Boer. They wouldn't play it like that in Singapore. In your theatrical purple suit, pink hat in Mauritius, You were really cute, and all the ladies were amazed. They hadn't had it like that since Edie's day. I mean, Dada. And when you run back to your mama, will she sing a lullaby? Now you are a farmer. Who will keep the tinder dry? Wind free. The Cape Town Peninsula is not an easy place to comprehend spatially. In the beginning, we struggled to differentiate Hout Bay from False Bay, north from west and south from east. Such a beautiful city with a mountain in its middle and so many nooks and crannies. But where to settle? So we stayed in a rented house in Oranjezicht for 18 months and went house hunting every weekend until, out of the blue, a property transfer in our conveyancing department went wrong. The purchaser couldn't come up with the balance of the purchase price. It was an opportunity. A 60s Lloyd Wright type house on the edge of the forest in the so-called wind-free glen of Camps Bay. It had views not only of the ocean, but also of Lion's Head, Table Mountain, and the 12 Apostles. Camps Bay, said one of my partners, who lived in the sublimely windless Higger Vale above the city bowl. From our 26th floor offices, he pointed across to Table Bay, which was being pelted by a massive southeaster gale. Our office tower, the Trust Bank Centre, was creaking in the gale. Camps Bay will be 5 kilometers out to sea today. Colin, another partner and veteran Camps Bay resident, replied, "Don't listen to him. Your house is deep in the wind-free glen, just go for it." We did, and so finally found our village by the sea. And so here it is, village by the sea. And now village by the sea, content are we just to be. No need to fly across the sky from our village by the sea. In the shade of the trees on the hill above the sea, content are we. No need to fly across the sky from our village by the sea, content are we. In our village by the sea. The world is sleeping. This song was written for my son Christoph, who, as a preschool lighty, was fascinated by the colourful hang gliders floating off Lion's Head, immediately above our Camps Bay home, on their way down to the beach at Clifton below. He had his own version of numerous words, and this was his take on the word parachutes. Gunny shooters. Gunny shooters in the sky, coloured sails upon the sea. Hey, look, mama, the world is breathing. Sun is sinking in the sea. On the hills the trees are red. Hey, look, mama, the world is glowing. Don't let it burn. Mm-hmm. Don't let it burn. The moon is trying to hide away, but the stars see everything. Hey, look, mama, the world is sleeping. Don't let it die. Don't let it die.
I was sailing into the storm when you warned me of the danger. And it's hard to ignore if you've been there before, but I really couldn't remember. Many years and friends went by, and if I had to try, recollect them all again, would not change a thing. Frequently in my dreams I can fly without even trying. When it happens again, I might see if I can find him down some cobble lane in a village in Spain, squeezing through in his blue Range Rover, big fat mama on his banjo and my guitar, would not change a thing. Some do and others listen. From you I've learnt my lesson well. And even though we arrive and leave alone, I would not change a thing.